to form. Ban starting off here, Evelyn, Rise being taken away by Fnatic, and LeBlanc and Lulu have been banned out by Roccat.
So Fnatic actually the team banning away Nidalee here from Roccat. It could have been going both ways. I mean, both teams have been playing it. Both teams showed the siege comp they used yesterday actually. So wise enough ban. Rise as well. Take it away from Roccat because they're one of the teams who really loves to play both in top lane and also in the mid lane here. So very smart ban. And of course, ban away here is the normal, the go-to one if Kha'Zix is picked. Lee Sin, of course, for Jankos. Elise could be an option against this Kha'Zix here. We know how strong Kha'Zix jungle is. We know how much Sana can do on it. We've seen him play it as well, where in the team fights, once you get some tanky items here, you just run into the face of the enemy and you just continue taking all the damage. You have your 50% damage reduction from your ultimate. So it's very hard to kill him. So it's a very strong pickup for Fnatic.
Roccat now deliberating over this one. Discussions from Jankos. It looks like it's going to be the Renekton and Lucian. They've both quickly selected them. And they are waiting for that lock-in. So, Renekton in the top lane. I wonder what Sasa is going to do to respond to that.
Well, with this Renekton here, Sasa's every single time it's open, he actually just locks it in. And Celeber didn't look too happy.
Celeber did not look happy about having Lucian for some reason.
Well, so again, two very standard picks for Roccat. Sasos, he loves to play Renekton, he loves to pick it actually already in the first rotation when it's not banned away. So for him, standard top lane here, he needs to win the laning phase, he needs Jankos to come up and then put up an extra kill or some extra pressure with the Renekton. And of course Celeber, we've seen him play Caitlyn and Lucian so many times, so no surprise here.
Now if I was a body language expert, I would look at Celeber and think there's something not going right with that team. He was sat, arms folded when his champion was selected. Though Fnatic locking in Lee Sin and Karma.
Such a smart pickup here with Lee Sin for Source up in the top lane. He's able to go toe-to-toe against Renekton and also they take it away from Jankos, who loves to play Lee Sin. So they're getting actually two very good things from just picking one champion here. And Karma support, well, we've seen a lot of different supports from Vander. Not always with the same success, so he should be locking in at Thresh here, but it's going to make his laning phase hard actually, because Karma is going to have some very good poke onto him in the laning phase, but I expect him to pick up the Thresh or maybe Leona if they want some more engage.
So we'll see whether that isn't going to be in top lane. I mean, we've seen Soaz playing in top lane before. It was against Alliance yesterday or first day, not too sure. It was in Super Week. It was the first day, first game of the Super Week, I believe. Fantastic turnaround, and that kick really turned the game around. Stunned many people up with the teleport.
As the thing, in the late game, while your damage is not going to be the best, same goes actually for Renekton, you have more big play potential here. You can land your Sonic Wave, set something up with your kick. Early game wise, both Renekton and Lee Sin are very, very strong, so we're going to see a head-to-head fight up there.
Elise was locked in alongside Leona for Roccat, so that will be Jankos on Elise, and of course Vander on Leona with Lucian.
So again, for Rockat's side here, going very, very standard with the picks. Leona, Lucian, it's a strong dual lane. At level 6, you got some good kill potential here, of course, with your calling, some good burst you can bring in, combine these two champions together. Elise, of course, with Lee Sin gone, with Kha'Zix gone, with Evelyn gone. You're kind of dropping down the list a little bit, and that's where Elise, of course, comes in. And it gives some good objective control, but not as good now. We are in 4.4 and the Q is of course nerfed, but still very solid pick, still very good damage, and late game wise with your 2-second cocoon now, it's actually very strong.
Well, it's interesting to see the Leona selected when Thresh was available, that hard engage instead of the hook that Vander has played so many times. Big MVP of course many weeks ago, but look at this, Vayne and Ziggs locked in for Peke and Reckless.
So Fnatic here is going to have a great option to start split pushing if they do well in the early game. You put Vayne in one lane, you keep Source up in another lane with teleport on Lee Sin, build a Tiamat on him so he can really push the waves out fast. And then you keep, of course, the Ziggs and the Karma in the mid lane. Great wave clear, good rotations around the map. So Fnatic here, if they get a good start in the game, if they get ahead early on, they can just start split pushing around. And Roccat is going to have a very hard time responding. But that's where, luckily for them, the Leona pick actually comes in very handy. Because if they want to start a fight, which is what they need to do when Fnatic is split up, that's where the Leona pick will shine.
Well, remember, Vayne was played last by Reckless against Alliance. Katarina being thought about, but Talon getting locked in for overpower.
So Talon against Ziggs here. First few levels, he needs to be careful he doesn't take too much poke from the Ziggs, but at level 6, he's gonna have a lot of kill potential onto someone like Ziggs here. Really expect Peke to run barrier, however, making it harder for overpower to kill him, but expect a lot of action around his mid lane.
Well, they switched to go to Exhaust. I think that's why maybe was going to stick with. We did just see Alex running the same thing on Ziggs himself, but We'll see how that works out because from Overpower and Talon, we've seen some fantastic talents in the LCS over the years, Nuke being the main one that I can think of for the Lemon Dogs last season.
We've also seen Talon picks go horribly wrong. Millennium played it as a counter pick to Kassadin earlier in the season.
Yes.
While the laning phase was okay, once you got to team fights, they never managed to do anything with it. So Talon here as a pick needs to make sure he's not going to get shut down early, because then he's going to do pretty much nothing. But if he gets a good start going, get some early armor penetration, he's going to be deadly in the team fights.
Yeah, I think everybody realized you can't counter Kassadin. It's why he got changed. We are ready to kick things off, and let's check out your votes. According to LOLesports.com, you've picked Fnatic by 72%. Fnatic army is strong, still in force, and hoping that they do grab that top spot. At the moment, they are in second place and looking to try and secure that one. A win here would be vital for them.
Yeah, a win here, and they are 100% sure of the second place. They have a bye, so they're going straight into the semifinals. Don't have to go through all this quarterfinal here, which Roccat, of course, will be dropping down to.
Well, remember, this is their title to defend, if anything. They were the Spring and Summer Champions of 2013. They want to continue that trend here in 2014. Currently, SK Gaming have challenged them, that's for sure. Here we go, though, ladies and gentlemen. Fnatic facing off against Roccat. It is a big, important matchup here. Could decide whether or not there's going to be tiebreakers. We are about to get things underway. Starting out as the blue team, it is Fnatic, and for Roccat, it is the red team playing from top to bottom.
So this exhaust here on Pekka is actually very smart, because whenever Overpower jumps towards him, he can just exhaust him and stop a lot of his burst here. So of course, very smart pickup. Could have gone to the barrier, but either works. Just he needs a defensive summoner to survive here, and then he just needs to land a lot of poke early on when Talon is not level 6, because at level 6, that's where Talon really can start making plays, not only in the mid lane, but also everywhere else on the map. And now when it comes to split pushing, simply due to the last pick here for Roccat, they will have some response at least. If Overpower gets ahead early on, he can walk down to Reckless and just blow him up.
Well, we'll see whether he's able to do that, because of course if Reckless does manage to take this longer, he'll be doing this reverse back on towards Overpower. At the moment though, it may well be a late invade from Fnatic. You can see these three members set up in the top lanes, as is in defensive duties. We also see Cyanide being pinged in that bush area down the river. He's going to be up against Jankos, doesn't want to go and show themselves, but there is a heavy presence from Fnatic in the top half of the jungle.
And Fnatic here might actually expect Roccat to lane swap themselves. That's why they moved both the Karma and Vayne up here, but laning-wise for both of them, I mean, yeah, Vayne is weaker early on than the Lucian, but then the supports kind of make up for it, because Karma is going to be stronger than Leona when it comes to the early game laning phase. So both their dual lanes here should be going fairly even up against each other. Of course, there should be more kill potential onto the Roccat side if they manage to land a stun.
So I was going to lead the charge here, actually finding out on towards Xaxus, lands the Sonic Wave and follows through, and it's not going to get too much more damage other than some basic attacks, and almost, more importantly, pulling a minion towards him, so it gives him some vision. But that's the red buff invade. Roccat are countering the same thing. So 4 members of Fnatic in the top. Meanwhile, we do see 3 members of Roccat. That's going to be going across towards Jankos. And so as well, he has that teleport, let's not forget, but he's going to go the long way and maybe look and see if he can make a play on Overpower in the mid lane as he passes by.
Yeah, try and put some early pressure. He's not actually getting any XP because he's moved away from the Wraith. Oh, actually moved back in here. Okay, so he was just waiting to Sonic Wave in, but he's stepped away. So San actually getting the full XP, but we just have Source helping around, because down in the bottom lane, he's going to get zoned away from all the CS.
Overpower's taking a lot of damage from Pekka here. He's going to try and bait him in. Jankos comes in. That may be enough bait. There's the explosive satchel. Managing to force him away. He's got some damage down. So as can he land the Sonic Wave? No! The Spiderling was still there. He did that way too early.
But still, very, very aggressive start here for both teams. Actually, 3 members from Fnatic around the mid lane, and of course Jankos, because he took the red buff, could try and gank in from behind onto Pekka.
The satchel pack. I don't want to upset the internet world, by the way. That's what it is.
Satchel charge.
But for satchel charge, but it's a rubber ducky. That's all we need to care about right now. Overpower is going to be forced out. Vander's going to follow through, and here they could get a good stun. We do see actually Overpower going very aggressive. So is still only level 1, by the way, yet to get in lane, and actually looking at maybe go for a blue steal here. Crazy.
Yeah, he needs to actually get down this bottom lane though, because the wave is about to hit the turret and he don't want to miss out on this early XP. He's gonna lose a few minions here already because they're fairly low, and now Silva can actually try and stone him away.
Well, it's a level 3 versus a level 1. That means Sullivan's going to put a lot of damage down on Soaz, and he is going to be fairly weak in the early stages, and Jankos and Vander already coming to try and 3v1 him. He's already realized this, he's pushing away.
Yeah, so they're forcing him away. Still only level 1 here. Okay. Sasus in the top lane, still level 1 as well, so they're doing a good job zoning him away. Only 2 members from Fnatic. So both top laners with some issues here early on. And this lane swap is actually something Fnatic likes to do with Reckless on Vayne, because it means they can take the turret, and often they actually just let him stay in the lane. Once the turret is gone, Yellowstar starts roaming around, and then Reckless just stays in the lane and solo farms. So he gets ahead in XP, he gets a lot of free farm, and then he's going to be very strong when it comes to split pushing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Zazas and Soaz are actually too worried about this. They expected this.
Yeah, of course.
More importantly, though, Reckless is doing a good job, and this is actually benefiting Reckless so much, the fact that he's off on his own in that lane. Oh, that's a good cocoon on Peke. We're going to see Jankos following through on that one, but Cyanide's there. Does manage to get some claws in. He has got the double buffs on, but didn't follow through. So
Peke saved his flash here because he managed to jump over the wall by himself, and now Jankos had to flash away. We actually see Sasus also without the flash here from, of course, earlier on. So a few flashes down from Roccat, a lot of pressure from Fnatic early on here, and a very good start for Reckless on Vayne.
Well, Soaz has finally hit level 2. Zazas yet to get near. There's Soaz doing the defensive duties on that bottom turret. They didn't choose to push it and pressure it down, but Zazas, he doesn't want to go near this one. He has got Cyanide nearby, so he's wise to stick back. He has got that ward vision there, so he can see Cyanide in that jungle area, so wisely staying very much out of the picture here.
But Jankos coming into this mid lane, didn't know where Cyanide is.
And this time he does get dived on. He gets stealthed up straight away, silenced out by Overpower. No escape. Tried to use that explosive satchel charge to get away, but it wasn't enough.
So Roccat took full advantage of the fact they spotted Silent up in the top lane, went in for another gank in the mid lane, and they really show how much focus they put on getting Overpower head on this talent here, because they know he's going to be the key to stop the split pushing from Fnatic.
Well, this is going to be Roccat diving in on Soaz this time around. He hit level 3 though, and he does manage to safeguard away to a ward, a little trinket ward. It's so beneficial to Lee Sin players. As it is, that is the second turret of the game going down this time for Roccat. Cyanide trying his best to get the farm away from the tower in that mid lane.
And triple longsword here onto Overpower, so he obviously wants to get the Brutalizer. He could go for a Hexstring as well against the Ziggs, or maybe go for some lifesteal early on if he wants to have some more sustain here. So a lot of options from him, of course, with potions and the flask, which he had from level 1. So already got some good built-in sustain.
Soaz doing a very good job at keeping his levels going, keeping that experience up, and just staying near enough that he's also causing some problems for Vander. You saw him just taking a tower hit there. Peke back in his mid lane, continuing to cause problems for Overpower in terms of farm. There's no surprise there. He's going to just bully him out with that range, and of course that passive that Ziggs has will do quite a bit of damage to Overpower, so he doesn't even need to burn that mana down. Reckless and Yellowstar though, look at this in the top lane. They're continuing to push here, and we do see Jankos making a move towards the top.
Yeah, both junglers have actually stayed away from these solo laners, at least for the last few minutes, not helping with the extra push. But Jankos going to come up here to try and defend. Cyanide, he's far away, so Fnatic all alone up here, just backing off wisely. And more importantly, they keep Vayne farming at all costs.
And they haven't backed away from this one. Jankos showed himself, and we just saw a quick inner flame blasting from Yellowstar straight into Jankos, basically saying, yeah, we know you're there. You're not going to get close. We're going to slow you down if you try to walk in towards this one. Overpower still taking damage in that mid lane, but he has got the advantage over Peke in terms of kills.
Yeah, he's level 6 now, so this is where we can see some action going on. If Jankos joins in, or Vander joins in to lock Peke down, then we can see the full burst from Overpower. There's no Ignite, so he's going to miss a little bit, and there is Exhaust ready onto Peke.
Whether he goes for it. Cyanide's close by, but look at this. Vander offered a side. If he can land that Zenith Blade, or maybe even hasn't got the Solar Flare available, only level 4, stood on top of a ward as well, more importantly. But he's going to try and run around the side here, and the Yellowstar straight away reacting to this one. They may try to turn this into a kill of their own here. Peke didn't really react to that one. Cyanide still over that red buff.
And Cyanide actually moved down to the golems when the fight started, so Fnatic clearly didn't want to go for anything here. Just wanted to force Vander away. He's going to return down to the bottom lane here. Peke is still there, and they're actually doing the same thing where they keep Reckless up in the top lane, just farming by himself, and Yellowstar now roaming around the map.
Overpower using his ultimate to clear the way of that, and he's going to back off quickly. It's a fairly fast cooldown so far. They are keeping the AD carries and top laners against each other. It does give Reckless that level advantage over Zazas, who has managed to claw his way back up to 4. But Soaz, you can see down the bottom, still at level 5, managing to keep up, whereas Celavar has got his ultimate available now, that culling Yellow Star face checking in towards Zazas around those golems.
And not only do they get an XP advantage towards the top laners with Reckless here, also due to the fact that Vander stayed with Celavar down the bottom lane, he's actually going to be ahead of the Lucian as well. So they want to make sure to get in a point where nobody can 1v1 Reckless. But of course, Overpower here with the early assist at least will be able to do a lot of damage to him. Or will it be enough? He's going to need a few kills before he becomes really strong on his talent.
Yeah, Overpower's going to have to get that farm going now, because Peke seems to be on a bit of a mission here. He wants to keep it going. Speaking of farming missions, look at the 280 carries. They've just been in a zone right now. Reckless up to 82, 72 for Celavar. Dragonbeard started off by Fnatic here. They have got a vision here, Fnatic, just at the back, which is why they may try and make an appearance. But this Dragon is going down very quickly. Mega Inferno Bomb's not available, so they can't even go with the steal on that one. It looks like Roccat will take it.
And Fnatic they had the ward here, and actually Source was waiting in the base. He could teleport in, but the rest of Fnatic were too far away. Sana was moving all the way from the Wolf camp, so he was too far away, and they simply give up the first Dragon here. But still, for them, we've actually seen them do this again before when they play Vayne. They don't care about the early game too much. They just want to make sure he can always farm.
Looking to go for this one. We see Vander moving in, Satchel Charge bounce away from Peke. Cocoon lands on Yellow Star, but those bombs just keep on bouncing straight in towards 2 members of Roccat.
That's why this Ziggs pick is going to be so strong for Fnatic, because Peke, he's just going to sit in this mid lane all game long, just continue pushing down the waves, and then if he can get some damage onto the turret, or if he can get someone to go back from Roccat, that's where Fnatic will have the advantage elsewhere on the map. So we can just see him continue doing what he's doing now, get a few hits on the turret, always wave clear.
Overpower, not too sure he'd be too happy about having to keep using that ulti to keep that wave cleared though from Peke, keeping him away from that tower. And Reckless, he is doing a lot of work on this top turret right now. It's almost gone down, this inner turret, which is great, honestly. They are finally having the rotation though. Celavar is making his way in towards that top lane. Jankos making his presence known as well. It is going to force Fnatic back.
And 1300 gold onto Reckless at the moment, so he's getting closer and closer to his players to go King, which is really the big point for him. It's a very early power spike for Vayne, and it really means someone like Zazas will not be able to do anything against him in a 1v1.
Look at the difference though. I mean, you can see the gold. It's what? 200 gold, because we just saw Overpower taking that wave there. 100 gold between them. Roccat have got the kill advantage, the first blood, and they got that dragon advantage. But in terms of lanes, it is all Fnatic so far. They are starting to dominate every single lane in terms of farm.
Yeah, they're just farming better at the moment, and also due to the fact with Ziggs in the laning phase against Talon, as we talked about, Ziggs needs to outfarm, needs to poke onto Talon until the point where Overpower can just jump onto Peke and force him out of the lane.
Well, they're having a problem at keeping Soaz away from the farm right now. He's up to level 7. It is a level 8 Celavar and still only a level 5 Vander though, so Celavar's been milking that experience, that solo lane experience. Jankos is going to get spotted out by Soaz, so no sneaky gank this time around. Meanwhile, down the bottom, it is a 3-man push from Fnatic on towards that inner turret. They have got the outer one to take first, which I don't think is going to be too many problems.
So both teams here just trading turrets. Now you see Source already leaving up here and doesn't want to stay around because there's 3 members from Roccat.
Oh, they're moving for the mid.
Both of them are just switching around here, but Overpower needs to be careful in here. A lot of members close to him.
Well, the Mega Inferno Bomb comes out. They're going to force Vander to tank this one away. They should have enough to tank it down and take that damage, but that is going to be the bottom turret for Fnatic. There's the top one for Roccat. The mid one is the focus. Cyanide waiting off at the side there, ready to pounce.
And if they kill him here, they can take the mid turret. It would be a big win for Fnatic.
Oh, Soaz didn't land his Sonic Wave. He is still going to force Overpower away from this one. Cyanide also trying to jump in. It forces Overpower's ultimate on towards that tower, and the rest of Fnatic all rotate around. 4 members of Fnatic now in this mid lane continue pushing. They have the turret advantage, but Celavar is not done yet. He's still pushing that top. Finally, he's going to back off, so I was teleporting there.
Yeah, and a very good move by Fnatic, using the fact that Peke had pushed the lane all the way up to the turret here, and just moving in with Sanad and Source, who already abandoned the top lane. Sasos, he went back to base. He didn't want to go into the mid lane and try and help because he didn't actually expect Fnatic to make the move here. So they took full advantage of the fact that Peke was controlling the lane.
Looks like it's either going to be an early Last Whisper or Ravenous Hydra for Overpower. We'll see which way he goes with that one at the moment. He has got that pickaxe with that long sword he had early on. Cyanide's going for that red buff. And of course, Peke returning to that mid lane with his Athene's Unholy Grail will continue the farming session that he's starting to put on in this mid lane.
And with all the outer turrets gone, from Rocket's side here. It's very good for Fnatic once they actually start split pushing, because as we already see on the minimap here, a lot of good wards from Fnatic in the jungle of Rocket. So they're gonna get vision of them moving around the lanes, and that's what you want to do when you split push. You always want to make sure that they don't come with multiple members to gank you, and you don't get something elsewhere on the map. So if they can spot 2 or 3 members from Rocket moving to bot lane to kill Reckless, that's where they can push the mid lane or push the top lane instead. So they need this vision here, and it's very good for them that all the auto turrets are gone.
Roccat trying to make some moves here, making a play, heading in and covering off. Dragon is a good 1.5 minutes away from this one, so they are making an early invade. They seem to think they have the timers, whether they're just setting up for a red buff here and then an eventual Dragon. We'll see whether they have that timer. I'm almost certain that Cyanide took that red buff a moment ago, so it's not going to be available. They've just warded out the entire bottom half of the jungle. They're buying time for Zazas to completely farm that bottom.
Yeah, and they're also doing the same thing Fnatic did. Go deep in, get some good vision so you can see the movement from them. So Rocket now want to push the lanes down. They need to worry though about this top lane, because there's a massive wave and a Vayne pushing in towards the turret. And that turret only needs a few hits to go down.
Yeah, it's already been taken very low. We do see Salavar heading his way up there, and already we see Reckless heading down. There's a minute till Dragon. Looks like Fnatic is going to start positioning for this one. There's the blue buff to Peke. Everything is set up and ready for both of these teams to go at it.
Reckless is actually coming in towards the mid lane. He's already level 9 onto this Vayne, so a lot of solo XP from him, a lot of farm. Blade Rune King is completed, so he's going to be very strong in the 1v1s here. Let's see for the team fight though, because Roccat with Overpower here, with Zazas, with Leona, a lot of potential to dive onto Reckless and just blow him up.
They have some crazy single target, and Yellowstar flashing out of that solar flare from Vander, so that didn't land. That ultimate, that's a big ulti dot to have when this team fight starts.
Yeah, it's a very big ultimate. It's actually the whole engage from Rocket here, unless they want Overpower to go in first, which is very risky for him. He wants to follow up when the rest of the team is already in.
Okay, clearing, sweeping the wards. Bombs continue to bounce, catching onto Vander. They need to try and take this pink ward out. You can see Zazas trying to do defensive duties, but the rest of his team not really convinced by this play anymore after that solar flare was used up, and that pink ward will get swept out. They're going to try and chase on this one. So as he's going in towards Zazas, does manage to land the Sonic Wave, doesn't follow through. The Cocoon misses as well, and Fnatic have bullied Roccat out of this Dragon Pit. Yeah,
forcing them away so they could also kill the pink ward here they so desperately wanted to get down. It means for them full vision in this area and very fast Dragon for Fnatic.
Incredibly quick, that Dragon's gone. Zazas, what are you doing? Don't walk in. He tries to trot on through the mines, but takes a hell of a bunch of damage for the process. Now Roccat going to try and force the way and get some vision and cover off this mid turret. Maybe they can try and push it down early. Mega Inferno bomb from Peke though, that's going to stop the wave.
Fnatic now just pushing down us on this bottom lane because they moved straight there from the Dragon. Didn't care about Rocket going to the mid lane. They can get at least a few hits here.
They can do good zone control here. Peke wasn't quite in position to get those mines down. They're going to catch on Cyanide. Everyone diving in towards him. He's going to try and pounce away from this one. The rest of Roccat try and chase. There's the solar flare. Cyanide still the focus of target. We're going to see Overpower coming in. They're not going to land enough damage, but the rest of Fnatic are running away from this one. Reckless pops his ulti. He tries to turn back on towards it. Salavar taken low. Peke throws out the bombs, but there's not enough damage from either team to capitalize on a kill.
But very strong disengage from Fnatic with Karma, of course, speeding up the team. You have Lyssin to kick someone back. You have the slow from Cyanide and the mines for Peke here. So a lot of options to disengage, and they managed to get out here of actually a bad situation. Cyanide almost went down, but due to his 50% damage reduction, he actually stayed alive.
Roccat live to hold on at the moment. Fnatic almost certainly exerting pressure onto this team and showing that they have better rotations so far than Roccat.
But this is the time now for Fnatic to just spread out in the lanes. You already see Reckless moving up to a giant wave up here in the top lane. And with his Blade Rune King, and also actually both summoners ready, he's going to be very, very strong. And let's see if he decides to stay in the lane and push all the way up, and then have Source go down to the bottom lane and do the same, and then try and force Roccat into some skirmish duels here. Because the Dragon is gone, so it's going to be all about now the laning phase or the split pushing the next few minutes.
So satisfying as any character to see that much farm and collect it all. Mega Inferno bomb clears out that wave once again, and that Ziggs is doing a grand job at defending those turrets, completely stopping the Roccat attack on towards that mid turret. That's all you need to do so far. Until somebody can tank up that turret for a long period of time, they're not going to get close.
Exactly, like for the next 10-15 minutes, Peke can just wave clear all the time and force Rocket to just back off from the turrets and then worry about the side lanes. And we see now both Reckless and Soaz in the side lanes here, but they're very far down, and Reckless is actually moving away from the wave because he want to kill the big wraith before he goes up there. So more focus on farm for him now than just directly split pushing.
Use of that ward. Here's the trinket ward, I believe, he put down as well. So free for 69 gold in exchange. We are on 4.4, remember, here, not on 4.5, which has just gone live over on the server. So we're going to stick on 4.4 for the next week or two. While Jankos in this top lane on Elise. Elise is a champion that many had questioned would be successful in 4.4, but as of yet, we haven't seen too many people sway away from her.
Now, what we can say about Elise is she's not going to be the first jungler you just lock in every time you have the choice. It's like Kha'Zix or Evelyn now, so she dropped a little bit down the list, but she's still a very strong pick, and that's why we see people still picking her up here, because again, she brings everything you want from a jungler. And ooh, Roccat wanted to try and go aggressive here, but Yellow Star just speeding away.
Well, they saw the Satchel Charge and mines go down from Peke. They knew there was no defensive capabilities from him, so Yellow Star just playing it safe and going defensive, popping that speed boost on them. So as in this bottom lane area at the moment, up against Zazas, it's been a lane they haven't really faced off against each other too much, but he has a big farm advantage over him so far. Oh, Solar Flare on towards Peke. There's going to be the barrier quickly used. Sorry, the shield coming out from Yellow Star, quickly defending and blocking off the entire damage. Mega Inferno but flashed away by Vander. That would have been a kill.
A nice flash by Vander here, dodging out. You also saw the exhaust and the shield from Yellow Star onto Overpower, so Peke only dropped down to 50%, and then Roccat had to back off here and use a very nice flash to actually escape.
And again, everything used, and that tower completely defended, and Roccat yet to get close to it. They used all their abilities they had in their disposal, but it wasn't quite enough. The exhaust, of course, was burned from Peke, and that's kind of what made Overpower just back away straight off.
But one thing we also see from Fnatic here is in the side lanes, they play very careful here. They push their wave up, and then they just back off a little bit, because they don't actually want to duel Roccat yet. They want to get further ahead, so they've just been farming up with the dragon coming in 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's going to be the next thing for them, because that's why they're just farming now, getting some key items. Don't really want to push the split pushing too much.
Well, they're powering ahead in farm as well. I mean, obviously, every time that Mega Inferno Bomb's available, it's being used to clear those waves, and you can see in terms of farm against Overpower, he started to pile ahead of him. The AD carries, we are staying Reckless, slightly tipping ahead. Not too far. Salavar shows himself in that top lane, which has been pinged out by Fnatic because they know that Dragon is available in a minute's time. But that's plenty of time for Salavar to cover the ground.
Fnatic actually already got the good vision control here. Vander, he's gonna spot out the pink ward though. Will he actually try and go for it? No, backs away here. So Fnatic already with the better vision around the dragon, so they're definitely ready to fight for it. And you see Swords up in the top lane with teleport. You see Cyanide. He's still got a lot of time before he needs to move down here. Roccat though already ready, especially with Overpower. They want to try and catch out someone like Yellow Star if he moves into clear ward, and then he can jump him and kill him.
Well, Soan's got those Sorcerer's Boots, and alongside that Nuclear Large Rod and Athene's and Only Grail, he's going to be doing a lot of damage in this next fight, but let's not discount Overpower's damage with that last Whisper now completed alongside the Brutalizer, if he can get on someone. The problem is, Lee Sin is there. If he's involved in the team fight, he's not going to be stealthy.
No, but it would actually require Swords then to stay with his backline to defend him, and then Fnatic needs to kite around, so they won't really be able to go to the backline of Roccat, where Salavar then will be doing a lot of damage.
That was good damage from Jankos on Peke there. Unfortunately, he didn't have any follow-up, but he managed to put a good burst down on it, took a good chunk off Peke, and if they go into this fight, Peke is not going to be at full health.
No, but Roccat is completely out of position here. The AD carries up in the top lane. The support is coming from base. They're going to give up this dragon here because they're not in a position to fight at all.
Too slow again, and this time around, Inner Flame. Zaza's caught out. Mega Inferno Bomb wipes out that mid-wave again. And Zaza's taking some serious damage from Yellow Star and Peke.
And it's a big issue for Roccat because their composition were actually supposed to get the early objectives. They were supposed to get the dragons with all this mid-game power, with the Renekton and with the last Whisper on to Overpower, and of course Salavar and Lucian doing a lot of damage here in the mid-game. There's so many options to start the fights and actually force Fnatic out or just kill them straight up. So it's a big issue for them. They give up these early objectives because it means Fnatic then can start split pushing with this gold lead.
Vander trying to clear out the ward and almost got baited in as this combo of Yellowstar and Peke keeps trying to pick on people. Innerflame does not land this time around, but Peke and Reckless wipe out that wave. They have grouped together this time around. Cyanide caught off at the side there, has evolved his wings, now will just leap away.
Cyanide actually going very tanky here from the start, so he wants to be in the front line with Source, or they want to swap it around a little bit, so Cyanide goes in onto Celavar, trying to force him away, while Source backs off together with Reckless and helps him out when Overpower jumps him. Of course, as you said yourself, he can get him out of his stealth, or at least spot him in his stealth so they can do some damage. But Source, well, he's just baiting here.
Here we go, Condemn on the wall. Reckless goes for this one. Jankos is going down, no doubt about that one. An easy kill for him. Now he's going on towards Zazas. Zazas has to pop that Dominus. He was kicked away by Soaz. And well, Fnatic get their first kill of the game in the 23rd minute.
Also look at how much damage we got from Reckless already onto Jankos here. He went down so fast. So easy kill for Reckless and also forced away the flash from Zazas. So very nice for Fnatic.
So 5,000 gold advantage built up by Fnatic in this farming session, or farmingville, I'm not sure what it is. But they are doing a grand job in the lanes, that's for sure. And well, Peke, by the time he actually starts getting involved in this, hello, Soaz are going to teleport in on this one. Zazas has no flash, but then again, Soaz has no ultimate either because he just used it a moment ago. There's going to be the proc coming out. Reckless backs away from this one. Overpower comes in. Solar Flare locks up Reckless and he goes down. Overpower's not done yet. Soaz is being tracked. Where's he going to go? He's going to have to try and do some fancy Lee Sin footwork here. He does try and juke around and he gets away with it because the rest of Fnatic are pushing him in.
But look at the damage already from Overpower here. Barrier was used by Reckless still. Instantly died. Solar Flare and Overpower is enough to just kill him straight up here. So it signals for Roccat when it comes to the team fights. If Fnatic is grouped up, if they can catch on to Reckless, they will be able to kill him.
And sadly, that may well trigger another farming session from Fnatic. Roccat, though, they're going to try and push this one. They know that every time they do go against it, those bouncing bombs are there from Peke. They're going to have to take him out of the equation if they want to try and push that mid lane turret. Black Cleaver now completed by Overpower along with those boots of mobility. He's going to be trying to motor around this map to try and create opportunities for his team.
There's so much armor penetration. He will actually be able to, in case Reckless is not in the fight, even jump the likes of Cyanide or Source. Can do a lot of damage, but Vander now.
Mega Inferno Bomb, a flash coming out once again, but Yellowstar getting pounced on, and it's another kill for Overpower on Talon. This time around, that ultimate was used, but Jankos, he's backing away. He's got nowhere to repel to. Cyanide's going to try and create a play, but look at that rake. Look at that lockdown. The Zenith Blade comes in, but Peke had already got the kill. Cyanide jumps back in. Reckless rejoins the fight, takes down Vander. Zazas in trouble. It's a double for Reckless, and Fnatic clean up 3 for 1.
Fnatic instantly responding here. Celavar, he was nowhere near the fight, so there were only 4 members from Roccat here, and Fnatic just comes in. Reckless comes in, Source, Cyanide, everyone was there to just get the kill. And now they're starting up this Baron.
Well, Soaz was confused there, but check the start of this fight.
Yeah, look here. Down the bottom lane, Celavar, so it means he's not in the fight. Yes, they pick up a kill to the support. Reckless, he's moving instantly. Celavar, he's recalling. He doesn't even want to join in for this fight. And once Reckless actually comes in here, there's nothing they can do from Rockat's side. Because Source picks up a nice kill onto Least. Vander was already low, and then the kill onto Zazas. Easy peasy, double kill for Vayne, 1 kill onto Source. Couldn't be better.
That's exactly what they needed, and it gave them the Baron. So, Fnatic with the advantage. And that blue steal for Yellowstar with that inner flame. And you say support, but he's starting to do some serious damage. I'd love to see the stats at the end of the game, because those inner flames really do a lot of work. Mega Inferno Bomb once again coming out from Peke, and he's continuing that farm. He's now over 100 CS ahead of Overpower.
But again, it's also the whole tactic from Fnatic. Just keep the Ziggs in the mid lane, just farm. Never stop farming. Every time there's something you can wave play, ultimate yourself, just kill it, get the farm. Make sure Roccat can never push down to the turret. Because again, the issue for Roccat, who are you going to use your ultimate on from Vander? Are you going to try and kill Reckless? Or do you want to save it for Peke in the mid lane so you can push down turrets? If you kill Peke in the mid lane, you might not win the fight. And if you kill Reckless, well, you can't push because Ziggs is just going to be there to wave clear.
Interesting third item from Peke. He went for that Catalyst. I guess he's going to go for the Rod of Ages, get himself some more health more than anything up against Overpower, who has started to pop people.
Yeah, Overpower is going to have a lot of damage here. With this Scepter, he could go into a Bloodthirster or he can go in for a Hydra for some extra burst. It simply means for him, the longer we go into the game from Overpower, the more damage it's going to do.
So as caught out, Cocoon lands and they're just going to lock him up here. The damage is too strong. He does manage to try and get away from this one. Kicks Overpower, knows he's the damage dealer, but it's going to be a kill for Jankos.
But in the mid lane here, Fnatic pushing up here. They want to get some good damage onto this turret, but nice calling. Actually interrupted the calling here from Salavar.
Oh, he does have to sidestep this one and he's forced away from that. That means the turret is going to get pushed. The rest of Roccat off at the side. They're going to try and go for it. Solar Flare catches on Peke. Reckless just about to join the fight. Comes in at the side here, and that may well not be spotted by Roccat too early. Vander goes down, and Reckless keeps the rest of the team away. He completed the Guardian Angel. They couldn't fight that fight.
But Roccat did the right thing here, trying to get Fnatic in some bad situations where they're not 5 members. Only issue, there was no ultimate onto Overpower, and he's a lot of the damage for them, so he only jumped in, did a little bit of damage and had to back off, so they couldn't actually get the kill. But at least from Rocket's side, they're trying to do something now. Dragon is up, Fnatic can pick it up again, and they're just gonna fall further behind from Rocket's side. And that's why they tried this desperate engage.
Yeah, this is the exact same thing that SK Gaming did to Fnatic in day one, where Fnatic chased the kills and SK replied, taking objectives. And Fnatic seems to be doing that right now. That mid turret going down, the Dragon being picked up, and again, they're now 10,000 gold in the lead. It is stretching every single time a fight happens.
And with the Guardian Angel onto lane here, there's 2 targets for Overpower. He's jumping on Pekka here.
I think he tried to bait that one in because Reckless and Yellowstar were coming in there. The ultimate was used out by Overpower, so that's not available now in turret defense.
Fnatic now getting a lot of damage. Again, no ultimate onto Overpower. He needs it if he wants to instant burst down a target. Roccat, they don't have enough damage without his ultimate here, so they just have to back off.
They're going to keep on pushing. Those bouncing bombs keep going. The Cocoon does not land from Jankos, and again, the bomb's not quite connecting, but just doing enough to keep them stepping away. This time it does bounce on towards Overpower and force him away. Inner Flame not landing, but Fnatic, with this Baron buff still on them, are going to continue the siege.
And they can just keep throwing in the bombs. Throw in the poke here from Yellowstar. Top lane is actually pushing in favor of Fnatic, so as long as they keep Roccat here, this top lane turret will go down as well.
The culling was not used. I thought he was about to be to clear out that defense. Instead, Salavar realizing he can just defend it. And Peke doesn't seem to be trying to go too deep on this one. That top lane may well take itself down now. There is a siege minion in there. That's going to go down. Fnatic get themselves another turret courtesy of minions, and that takes it to 6-2 in favor of them.
And it's building up a giant wave up there. It's going to do a lot of damage even to the next turret. And the reason Peke is staying a little bit back is he's actually the target for Overpower. There's no Guardian Angel, no Sonya, so he's the one he wants to get onto and just kill.
Well, Peke is the one that many people want, but unfortunately for them, he is not available right now. He's busy in this game. Fnatic keeping the siege going. Baron's worn off, but I think they've realized we actually don't need Baron. Mega Inferno bomb thrown out, and it just bursts Roccat down. 3 members sucking that one up, and Salavar and Overpower being those main targets. There's going to be the satchel charge going out. Jankos caught out on this one, does put the Cocoon on Yellowstar. Roccat thought about capitalizing on it, but again, just forced away. This top turret is taking a massive wave of minions now.
Yeah, that's why they're staying, but now Roccat engaging.
Well, Vander goes in, Buster gets the Solar Flare down on Reckless, but he has got that Guardian Angel available. The culling did everything it could, but it just was not enough, and now Reckless life steals it all back.
And Peke is actually out of mana here, so Fnatic, well, they're just staying because they want to keep Roccat here while the minions do all the damage up in the top lane. And now with the ultimate down from Vander, the engage is gone. Overpower needs to be the one engaging now.
They keep going in, but this time Roccat coming out of the fountain, and I feel they're going to try and chase it. The Cocoon doesn't quite land. Zazas tries to pass in there, but again, the mines go down. The satchel charge goes down. Fnatic just going to go 8 in the wings. Peke's getting dived on. Overpower goes in, but he's all alone on this one. Goes stealthy, tries to come around the side. That ultimate not quite enough to take him down. The kick from Soaz is enough with the lifesteal. Peke did get taken off at the side there. Jankos all alone now. Soaz and Cyanide going to collapse on towards him. He's not going to be able to escape this one. The rest of the team are not with him. And this is a simple clean-up for Fnatic. It's a 2-for-1, but more importantly, the damage was done to those inhibitors.
So Roccat managed to push them away from both the turrets here. Minions up in the top lane died by themselves, and they forced Fnatic away, so they didn't lose any turrets, at least from this. They got a kill. Yes, they gave up 2, but from Roccat, everything counts now, and as long as they can delay the game. Look here, Overpower jumping in. Instant exhaust from Peke, that's why he took it. Actually, pretty much avoiding all the damage from Overpower. He did very little onto him. And then he's just trying forced to run away. So was just picking up in the end. Oh, didn't have enough damage, but then the E range is there. Meanwhile, though, just outside the screen, Jankos is gonna pick up a kill to Peke. Onto Peke.
Peke did go down slowly but surely, and that gave a Bit of bonus goal, but unfortunately it went to Jankos and not Overpower, the seeming only person that's capable of going completely ham in this game for Roccat, diving straight in there. The solar flare wasn't capitalized on, and Roccat really need to make one of these team fights count. Let's not discount though. If Roccat can turtle up, if they can hold on to these inhibitors, which they did pretty well there, and they can get a good engagement, they will slaughter Peke and maybe even Reckless.
Exactly. If they can land the ultimate from Vander, followed up by Overpower, they will instant kill Peke. And that's the whole goal. There's no exhaust now for at least some time, in case they want to fight around this Baron here. It should be up though for the next team fight, so they need to kill him through the exhaust. But if they can instant give him here, then with Sazas and Jankos tanking away, tanking some of the damage from Reckless, Roccat will actually, or should be able to at least do something in the team fights. It's gonna be hard though, and they're gonna need a perfect engage from Vander. And his ultimate so far been a little bit lackluster. Not actually stunning people. He's been hitting them and slowing them, but we haven't seen like the straight up stuns.
Mega Inferno Bomb used in the top wave, Soaz pushing the bottom wave. Fnatic doing Baron by the numbers. Push every wave out and then start to take the Baron. This time around we're only going to see Vander coming in. There is a ward ready and waiting to spot him. Peke is lying in wait. And yeah, they choose not even to get close to that one. They figured this one was already gone before they got there.
Yeah, no vision. Didn't want to move close because there was a chance Fnatic would just jump onto them and kill them. Sazas though, he did push out the bottom lane, so Fnatic rotating top means actually they're gonna have mid lane and top lane pushing with them, but the bottom lane, at least for Roccat, should be safe.
Soaz stood on a ward. He was the only one that's left in that jungle. Roccat trying to get some sort of coverage. Ooh, Vander trying to set up a play here. Peke actually kind of separated a bit, and Yellowstar does throw out that inner flame and cause the rest of Roccat to back away. Reckless was doing a solo job in that mid lane, pushing it away. He's actually up against Overpower in the mid on his own right now, while the rest of Fnatic pushes top.
But with the Guardian Angel onto Reckless, it's going to be very hard for Overpower to actually 1v1 him. That's why he's just going to stay back and farm, and why Reckless feels safe just pushing down the mid lane by himself. Now, Fnatic in the top lane, same thing as we saw early on. They can just stand here, throw in the bombs on Peke with the blue buff as well, and just always get some damage onto the turret, back out a little bit, go in with the next wave, get a few hits, and while it's slow, it still works.
Yep, slowly chip it down, that's what it's going to work. And that is enough for them. Overpower taking a couple of hits there from Reckless. We do see Soaz going in on towards him. Has to use that ultimate to get the stealth and back away from that one, but he's already taken down the half hit points. That means Reckless is going to be powering away on this turret. Inhibitor damage is enough, and they are going to move in as a team to take that turret down. Top lane turret also taking damage. Peke in there. Peke almost done enough down towards that top turret. That Sonic Wave does not quite land on the Zazas, but it's another inhibitor exposed.
And again, as soon as the ultimate is gone from Overpower, Fnatic just feels safe, moves straight in, picks up 2 turrets here, because they know there's nothing Roccat can do in a straight up fight without this ultimate.
Soaz taking down the Banshee's Veil of Jankos. Inhibitor in top and mid, both taken down by Fnatic as they move in and play League of Legends by the numbers. They rotate around to the final inhibitor turret. Soaz is like, guys, I can tank it. You want to take it? No. Reckless is saying, I want all the farm. I'm not happy with Peke having bigger numbers than me.
So he's gonna push the wave up here. The rest of Fnatic is waiting for them to come up, and honestly, this is the time for Roccat where they just need the perfect engage, win the team fight, completely ace Fnatic, get a lot of kills onto both Overpower and Selvar, and then do it 2 or 3 times more while defending the base.
The problem is they're what, 15,000 behind and a Baron buff.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
For Fnatic tells me chances are they probably don't have the damage or the regen to take it down. Inhibitor number 3 going down for Fnatic. That is everything down now. Jankos, explosive satchel part charge, whatever you want to call it. It's a big rubber ducky, and it bounced him in towards them. The Nexus turrets are being drilled down by Fnatic. They are tanking up everything Roccat can throw at them. Well, they needed the perfect engage, and they're just not going to get it. Selvar separated off there. Now we see Cyanide jumping in. Doesn't want to get the kill instead. They're waiting for the Super Minions to roll on in this top wave. There they are in the mid. This is going to be the 3rd Nexus turret. They've spawned another one. The 2nd Nexus turret going down. The Nexus will follow, and this is a straightforward farm session by Fnatic to take the win, but more importantly, to secure the number 2 spot in the spring split and get themselves that semi-final spot.
And there were so many people saying early in the season when Fnatic went to their losing streak, Are they even going to go to the playoffs? Are they favorites anymore? And they're really showing here now how strong of a team they are. Getting straight into the semi-final. They're going to be one of the favorites when it comes to taking the title and going to Paris.
Going 3-1 in the Super Week this time around, Fnatic. The only loss, well, it was to the #1 team, SK Gaming, and I think even in that game they were looking very good at the start. They were simply outplayed in the rotations, which doesn't often happen. Nevertheless, a fantastic performance from Fnatic overall, and honestly, they dominated that game throughout.
Yeah, they never gave Roccat much of a chance. The whole Roccat combo was built around Talon getting ahead early on. That's why we saw Jankos gank mid lane 3 or 4 times. Before level 6 even, he just kept going into the mid lane, wanted to get overpower ahead. But it was never enough, because once you start giving up dragons to a combo, to a composition which is not supposed to actually win the early mid-game team fights, then it really goes wrong. Because Fnatic took the dragons, kept extending the goal lead, and then when you have this combo with Vayne and Ziggs, of course, when it comes to the late game here, there was nothing Roccat could actually do. They just fell too far behind. Whenever they tried to engage, it was never on point. Like, we never really saw the Solar Flare just straight in the face and then instant pop a target here with overpower. And often, Fnatic managed to force away the ultimate from overpower before the fight even started, so Roccat could just stand back and wait.
Yeah, and more importantly for every team involved and the production as well, it does eliminate the case there can be no 3-way tie anymore. The only tie now that could happen is Roccat versus Alliance if Copenhagen Wolves beat Alliance, which is the next game, of course. So overall, 3-way ties out the bag. Everybody sighs relief, as well as the teams included, because they were talking about it in the previous feature, how it's great for everyone watching, not so great for the teams, because it is a nerve-wracking moment. You went through it yourself and almost got thrown into relegation alongside Alternate.
I mean, the whole tiebreaker thing is just because you don't expect the game, so you don't prepare anything for it. You don't think, oh, we actually might have to meet Roccat today. I mean, so you prepare for the games you play. You think we're done, we're into the playoffs, everything is all right. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, you need to play 2 or 3 more matches because of the tiebreaker, and you're like, oh, you have to get the focus back, to get the energy back, because you're staying so late, you're playing so late. And it's just very, very hard.
It was a long, hard summer, that's for sure. But nevertheless, these guys get paid to play games, so you guys at home don't care about that, really, do you? It was a fantastic game by Fnatic, though. Looking solid going into the semi-finals, which will be happening in a couple of weeks' time. They're going to be facing off against the 3rd or the 6th place team that will come through from that quarterfinals. And honestly, Fnatic and SK are both teams that I think right now in the best of 3 could beat anyone.
I 100% agree. That's, again, for me, Fnatic going into playoffs are going to be one of the favorites because of the way they're playing now. If you see the games, it's not like they make these big flashy plays and just get 30 or 40 kills every game. They play this very solid, very consistent, and very safe. They just out-rotate you, and then they start split pushing, or they run a combo with like Nidalee and start sieging you down once they get ahead. And it's what they've been doing all week here, so whenever you fall behind early game to this Fnatic team, they're just going to move around the map, get all objectives, and just force you out. So if they play like this in the playoffs, I'm not sure who's actually going to beat them or at least have an easy time against them.
We'll see who it is. We've got another game to go, but right now we're going to go across towards Peke, who is on deck and ready to talk to Shox and Quickshot. Let's check in.
Thank you very much, Team, and indeed joined by Peke as Fnatic locks in 2nd place. Very important win for you guys. Tell me about this game, because in picks and bans, a lot of mid laners banned out, and then all of a sudden you got to go up against Talon.
Yeah, Talon is the last pick I expected. It doesn't. I don't think it's that great.